What's up, y'all? It's your boy James. Got a super fun episode for y'all today. We're gonna be using my iPhone 12 mini to see if we could take professional product photos. In addition to my iPhone 12 mini, I'm also gonna be using a photo light box that you can see me setting up here. I got this thing on Amazon for about $100 and it's been pretty good. So the product I'm gonna be shooting today is a bag of coffee. I'm gonna go set up the photo box. We're gonna put the bag of coffee in there, take some photos, edit them. I'm gonna walk you through the whole process and we'll see how they turn out. Let's go hop in the box. Whoop. Now that we're in the box, we're gonna start taking some photos. So I'm in my camera, just the regular camera app from the iPhone. So I'm not too concerned with making it look perfect right now because I'm gonna do some light editing that'll really just smooth out everything. So one thing I'm gonna do is tap where I wanna focus, and then I can also drag down to change the exposure levels. So looks pretty good. I'm gonna take a couple pictures. Awesome, those look pretty good. Also with these coffee beans, I think it'd be pretty cool if I open it up and poured some of the beans out. Considering how dark the beans are, I think it's gonna look really nice against the all white backdrop. It'll give it a really nice contrast. That's gas. So actually, I just thought about it. I think I'm gonna cut the top of the bag so it looks a little bit more cleaner because I don't know what I'm doing and I just kind of ripped into it. So I'm gonna cut it, smooth the whole thing up. Okay, that looks much better from the front. Again, tap and hold to lock in my focus and then change my exposure. Another thing I wanna try, not sure if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try to cut a hole in the back of the bag and shoot through it. I think that might look sick. I cut a little hole in the back. I'm gonna try to stick the ultra wide lens through it and see how it looks. Wow, that looks nuts. That actually works really well. Dang, that is sick. All right, y'all, now's the fun part. We just finished taking all the photos. Now we're gonna edit them. So I took a ton of photos, but I went through and deleted them and kept just the best 4. Okay, let's start with this image right here. It's not bad as it is, but it can definitely use a lot of improvement. I'm gonna be doing all my editing straight from the iPhone's built-in editing tools. So right here, I'm gonna click on edit, and I'm immediately gonna go to the exposure and bring that up a little bit. What I'm being careful to do is not blow out any of the whites that are in the bag. So you can see right there, right between the lettering of coffee, you can see it's starting to get blown out and I'm losing some of that detail. So I'm gonna pull it back just a little bit, right there. And the brilliance, I'm gonna play around with it, see what looks good. I think right there, it kind of helps keep some of that detail while smoothing out the backdrop a little bit. The shadows, I'm actually gonna bring down a little bit to get some more detail on that coffee. And the contrast, I'm not gonna mess with too much. I'm just gonna bring it down barely. With the brightness, I'm gonna bring it up just a hair. The black point, I'm gonna bring up just a little bit to really bring out some of the shadows between the different beans. Saturation, bring a little bit more color into this. The vibrance, I'm gonna bring up just a little bit. Warmth, I'm not gonna touch because this thing did a pretty good job with the color accuracy in terms of the temperature. Tint, I'm not gonna touch. Sharpness, I'm bringing up just a couple hairs. The definition, I'm gonna bring up a little bit to give it that rustic, like real gritty look. And I'm not gonna mess with anything else after that. So it's looking pretty solid how it is, but the background, you can tell it's not all one shade of white. So I'm gonna try to fix that by clicking up here, going into the markup actions. And what I'm actually gonna do is click on this pencil tool right here, make sure it's selected to white, and then I'm actually going to paint over the background. So I'm gonna zoom in. What I'm gonna do is actually paint, and see, you can see right there, the difference. That's the color I want. That white color, I want to be the entire background. You can see all the way down here, it just blends in perfectly because I brought those highlights all the way out. And I'm just gonna be real careful along the edge. I don't need to go all the way up to the bag because you can see I blew the edges out right here. So I can just kind of fade this color into that and it'll look perfect. Boom, that thing's looking pretty solid. The last thing I'm gonna do is just slightly change the positioning of it. So I'm gonna crop it so the word coffee is dead center, just like that. And boom, It's a solid photo right there. And granted, all the methods I'm explaining right now are not professional methods. This is just a quick and dirty way to get some professional looking photos. But honestly, I could probably send this to a client and they would have no idea I took this on my phone. This thing looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go on to the next photo. This image is very similar to the last one, except it has that white space before the beans start, so it helps give it layers and more depth. So I'm gonna start by going back into edit. Cool, and that's a solid photo. Okay, y'all, so for this one, I'm gonna start by going back into edit. I'm gonna hit this exposure. Okay, y'all, last but not least, we have this photo I took from the inside of the bag. This one's pretty cool. Let's see what we can do with it. I think I'm actually gonna go black and white on this one. I think that'll look really cool. So first thing I'm gonna do, since I know I'm going black and white, is go to the saturation, drop it all the way down. That already looks pretty sick. So now I'm gonna come back to the exposure and just get it where I want it. I think right there looks pretty good. Brilliance, I'm gonna, let's see, bring it up so I get some detail on the beans. Highlights, I'm gonna drop. Ooh, yeah, that's starting to look nice, yeah. And these shadows, give it some nice contrast while keeping the detail on the beans. Brighten the whole thing up just a bit. I want to leave that there. And last thing I'm gonna do is really just kind of add some shadows to the corners just to kind of give the whole thing more of a vibe. And that looks pretty sick. I'm gonna crop it just a little bit more. Let's see how that looks. Boom, that's a vibe. I like that. Well, y'all, that's it for today's episode. Hope you guys had fun. Pretty new to this YouTube thing, so let me know what other kind of videos y'all want to see in the future. Leave it down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Till next time, peace.